7352-3825 today. Proud sponsors of America's First Responders Fest.
When your car's feeling sluggish, don't stress. Just bring it down to Britain's Express Oil and Lube on Larkin Avenue in Elgin. For a fast, friendly 10-minute oil change and a full 18-point inspection, they've got you covered. Whether it's engine service, fluids, filters, or headlight check, they do it right. And they do it fast. Family run, quality service, right in your neighborhood. Swing by today and keep your ride running smooth. Britain's Express Oil and Lube, your car's health partner in Elgin, a proud sponsor of America's First Responders Fest.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. From the Chicagoland to lands afar. With Derrick Geyer, your sports czar. The game's the place from field to rink. Hot debates, fast takes, no time to blink. The Windy City roar, the fans ignite. Your circus of sports under radio light. Big Time Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports fan from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. Thank you for tuning in. And if you want to get any of your sports thoughts off, feel free to call in at 847-931-1410. That's 847-931-1410. And as always, you can see my lovely face on youtube.com at WRMN Radio, youtube.com at WRMN Radio. And if you want to text in, you don't feel like calling in, feel free to use the text line at 505-926-1410, 505-926-1410. And then do not forget to check out our WRMN Facebook page where, well, since today is Tuesday, that means hump day. Hump day is tomorrow. And, well, it's going to be Weird and Wild Wednesday for the WRMN Morning Show with Susie C. and Elliot the L Train Serrano, where you could call in with any of your weirdness, weird questions, weird takes, and they'll be here to, well, talk to you every morning from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. with the WRMN Morning Show. So yesterday on Big Top Sports, when Andrew Scheid was in studio with me, trying to figure, or we went so off the rails on so many different things yesterday, where our pre-show or commercial show meetings, excuse me, sorry about that, where our meetings and everything took so many different twists and turns that I wanted to actually get an idea from everyone out there. What were some of the better Super Bowl commercials, big game commercials, if you will? And, you know, quite honestly, the one that really sticks out in my head was the Manscaped one. And that was even before the Super Bowl even kicked off. So if you're not familiar, Manscaped, it is a grooming product entitled Manscaped. And so they showed a numerous bunch of guys doing their trimming of their body, whether it be like their arms, their armpits, the privates, all that fun stuff, legs, whatever, however it was. And after they would shave, you would show the tuft of hair, and the tuft of hair was talking. And man, I just, being 12 years old, if you will, that basically just made me laugh my happy ass off for it. And kind of going back to yesteryears, it was kind of what you were looking for as far as Super Bowl products or Super Bowl commercials and the like of that. Something that was good, something that was funny that you remembered off the top of my head. And the other one, I don't know if you feel this way or not, or if you personally had a commercial that you liked, feel free to call in at 847-931-1410, and that's 847-931-1410. The other one that I liked, and I'm probably going to butcher the name or the commercial, it was the Goodwill Dunkin'. Goodwill Dunkin'. And here, let me pull that up real quick. Goodwill Dunkin' commercial. And it was one of those commercials where it was like, oh my good God. And, yeah, obviously they used a whole lot of, what was it? AI for the characters and everything that were in that commercial. But at the same time, I mean, obviously, you got Ben Affleck. You had, now I'm, because I am, you had, what was it? Joey Tribbiani, Urkel, Costanza. And going back to that day, or yeah, so it was just kind of like maybe a nostalgia aspect of it, because, okay, Goodwill Dunkin', Goodwill Hunting stars perennial Dunkin' commercial star Ben Affleck, who appeared in the movie Goodwill Hunting, obviously. And you had the likes of Jason Alexander, Seinfeld, Matt LeBlanc and Jennifer Aniston from Friends, Joey Tribbiani, Rachel. You had Jaleel White from Family Matters, Jasmine Guy, Alfonso Ribeiro from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And then at the very end, which really made me laugh and, got me in my feels, was the iconic Ted Danson from Cheers. And, the 80s show, technically the 80s show that ran all the way until 1993. So that was pretty funny in it of itself. And then, of course, then there was the unexpected Tom Brady at the very end. Well, not at the very end, but of course, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon as well. So that was pretty fun. For myself, I heard people kind of canning it. And when I say canning it, it basically means that they didn't like that particular commercial. And the reason why they didn't necessarily like it was because, well, of all of the AIs that were in that commercial. Because, well, make no mistake about it, yes, there was a little bit of work done on each of the characters to kind of make them look like their characters back in the day. Because obviously Ted Danson back in the 80s, Cheers ended in 1993. And so you needed to do a little work because, well, going back that far, everyone kind of has, well, not kind of, everyone has aged. But yeah. And then the amazing part of it is is that, I mean, you're talking about $8 million per 30-second commercial spot. So make no mistake about it, NBC making money hand over fist as far as that goes. And I'm trying to find it. I wanted to find it because, not the commercial. I'm talking about Roger Goodell talking about the Super Bowl and what it meant or what it means to him, and potentially the international games that will be coming. Not potential, because there are international games that will be coming on or being played in the NFL. I mean, but when I heard that one of the games for next season, and it might be the kickoff or one of the opening games, NFL kickoff games for 2026. If I'm not mistaken, one of the games is going to be held in Paris, France, Rio de Janeiro, which is Brazil. But one of the other ones that I heard was that there was going to be a game in Australia. And I know that they are trying to have a global reach, but man, you're talking on the other side of the world right now as far as that goes. But hey, I'll bring it to you on the other side of the break. Hopefully I can find it. But you are listening to Big Top Sports. Where? On WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. Back in a few.
Hi, this is Sherry Aschenbrenner, Vice President of Dementia Friendly Elgin Area. Everyone knows somebody living with dementia. Caregivers and friends of those with dementia are always welcome at our Elgin Area Memory Cafe, always the second Tuesday of every month at 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. at the South Elgin Public Works Building, 1000 Bowes Road in South Elgin. Also, Dementia Friendly Elgin Area gives free 20-minute dementia awareness trainings to local businesses, church groups, to bunco groups. Just invite us. If you'd like to get put on Sherry's senior email blast list, please email us at dfelist@gmail.com. Also, you can go and visit our website at dementiafriendlyelginarea.org.
Tune in to Sherry's Senior Moments radio show on the second Thursday of each month at 9:05 a.m. until 10 a.m. on WRMN AM 1410, WRMN Radio app, or WRMN Radio on YouTube. That's Sherry's Senior Moments, providing resources and information for our seniors in the community.
Before the weather gets too cold, it's time to finish up those outdoor jobs. That's why ComEd wants you to know that electricity can jump from a power line to you and to the tools you're using. So maintain a safe distance from any power lines. You can also call ComEd at 1-800-EDISON-1 to have those power lines de-energized the next time you do any work around them. Stay smart, stay safe, stay back. ComEd, powering lives.
The new novel, titled DUI Jury Trial, is the true story of two lawyers who defend a truck driver who is charged with DUI. If he's convicted, this truck driver faces a lifetime disqualification of his commercial driver's license, which would prevent him from ever driving a truck again. This 3-year legal battle culminates in a courtroom showdown, which involves the testimony of a DUI expert witness. This book, DUI Jury Trial, is now available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com.
We are AFGE, the American Federation of Government Employees. We represent 700,000 federal and D.C. government workers who are the vital threads of the fabric of American life. We support our nation's military. We take care of our nation's veterans. We protect our nation's borders. We respond to our nation's crises and natural disasters. We provide services to our nation's seniors. The American Federation of Government Employees. We work for America.
We are AFGE, the American Federation of Government Employees. We represent 700,000 federal and D.C. government workers who are the vital threads of the fabric of American life. We support our nation's military. We take care of our nation's veterans. We protect our nation's borders. We respond to our nation's crises and natural disasters. We provide services to our nation's seniors. The American Federation of Government Employees. We work for America.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports with yours truly, Derrick Geyer, on WRMN 1410 AM. And before I went to break, I was talking about the NFL and how they are going to be, well, there's going to be a lot more games than I initially thought for next season. Because, let's see, there is going to be 9 games across 7 different countries next season when the NFL picks up. And right there, I mean, if there was any indication of why the NFL was having Bad Bunny as the Super Bowl halftime show, this is, well, part of the reason why. Because he's such a global phenomenon, pop star. Let's see. There is going to be the first ever regular season game in Melbourne, Australia, which is going to be the Rams versus the 49ers. And that is going to be in Melbourne Cricket Grounds. Then you have Paris, France, the New Orleans Saints, opponent to be determined. That is supposed to be at Stade de France, or Stade de France. I don't know. I'm American. I have absolutely I've never taken French. I have no idea how in the hell you pronounce that. But then there's Madrid, Spain, in Santiago Bernabéu Stadium, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, at the Estado do Maracanã, Munich, Germany, Alliance Arena, Mexico City, Estado Azteca, and there's 3 games scheduled for London. And I'm wondering if the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be a part of all of that fun stuff. And I'm sorry for not getting to you, caller, but I'm just trying to pay this off here. So if you feel like hopping back on at 847-931-1410, that's 847-931-1410, feel free. But, yeah, make no mistake about it. There was a reason why, Bad Bunny was part of the Super Bowl halftime show. Not that I really paid a whole hell of a lot of attention to it, admittedly, because, well, I have absolutely no idea what was being sung. But you got to admit, or in my way of looking at it, Roger Goodell is doing one bang-up job for the NFL. And, well, really doing a bang-up job for all of the owners of the NFL. With the NFL being worth billions of dollars. And let me pull that figure up for you right here. Well, not necessarily, well, it's team by team worth, but yeah, might as well. So, and I'm not exactly sure if this was last season, 2024 to 2025, or this past season, 2025 to 2026. But, I mean, when you are making $23 billion in a year, which is about $14 billion in national revenue shared by all 32 teams, and about $8.3 billion generated by teams locally, and they share it and all that fun stuff. But yeah, it's quite the thing. And the $23 billion was actually for last year's 2024 to 2025. So those numbers aren't quite out yet. But with the Super Bowl ad revenue, with the marketing, with all of the streaming services, with the 1 or 2 off games via Netflix, where they're paying $150 million plus to just advertise or to carry 2 games for the Christmas games, which quite honestly weren't really a whole lot of smurf because, well, those weren't good games in my humblest of humble opinions. And it's not like I'm going over to Netflix or getting Netflix in order to watch those games. I like the NFL. Let me run that back a little. I like the Chicago Bears in the NFL. I like watching them play against whoever they play against. I'm here for that. But when you give the matchup that you did for that particular time slot, no, I'm more interested in watching or spending time with the family and watching my nieces and everything open up their Christmas presents. It's just a lot more entertaining to me and for me. And I could imagine that there are other people out there that kind of feel the same way. But did you realize that there was the alternate Super Bowl halftime show? Yeah, there was an alternate Super Bowl halftime show this year. And it was hold on a second. The All-American Halftime Show. Yeesh. I saw this and I watched it for maybe about 20 minutes or so. And in hindsight, I wish that I would have watched the Bad Bunny halftime show. At least it grabbed me in the very beginning, the Bad Bunny halftime show, where, well, I'm a red-blooded American male, and I love red-blooded American things. And the dancers and the people that he was walking past, okay, nice eye candy. Nice eye candy. That's all I'm going to say about that. But then you also had the issues that he was talking about or bringing to the halftime show. The electrical workers working on it was either the power lines or the phone lines. I think it was, maybe a bit of both because, hey, if you did not know this, Puerto Rico is part of the United States. Well, it's a separate country. It's not a state in the Union of the United States, but it's still a United States territory. And yeah, they're still dealing with power outage issues, the phone line issues, the infrastructure issues when the hurricane went through there and basically decimated Puerto Rico. And yeah, but this is Big Top Sports. I'm not going to get political about that, just for the simple fact that, well, it's not where you come to for the politics. You want the politics? Tune into the Apolitical Talk Show with Dennis Sonar Green, and you'll get a whole helping diaspora of different politics for that. But as far as the halftime shows go, yeah, the Turning Point USA halftime show with then the tribute for Charlie Kirk at the end, not my cup of tea, if you will. And I'll leave it at that. But you are currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM. back in a few.
With your news flash, I'm Ryan Gatenby, brought to you by Rain-X. Illinois lawmakers are pushing legislation to address widespread underfunding in public schools statewide. Supporters say nearly 3.3 million students attend underfunded districts, with mandated services falling about $3.3 billion short. A proposal in Springfield would require some Illinois drivers to install speed-limiting technology to curb high-speed crashes. Courts could order the devices for reckless driving cases and would require them for drivers convicted of going more than 100 miles an hour. Governor J.B. Pritzker is backing State Representative Margaret Croak in the Democratic primary for comptroller. Capital News Illinois reports Pritzker announced the endorsement Monday, which could give Croak a financial boost in the four-person race. I'm Ryan Gatenby with your news flash.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The Colonel despised the word empty. Empty plates, empty tables, empty stomachs. That's why he made the KFC $5 bowls, like the famous bowl. Creamy mashed potatoes, crispy chicken, corn, gravy, and cheese. Because the only empty the Colonel liked was when you reached the bottom of that bowl. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. 5 KFC bowls for just $5 each.
Prices and participation may vary. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Progressive knows life takes you in many directions.
Bear right at exit 32, then begin to wonder why you never bought a fish tank. In 1.3 miles, you'll realize you've been mispronouncing epitome your whole life. At the roundabout, you will remember you said something at dinner you wish you hadn't, and will think about it for decades. You have arrived at your destination, but it turns out there really is no destination, and life just keeps going.
Wherever life takes you, protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Elgin isn't just a city. It's a community built on connection, innovation, and opportunity. And at the heart of it all is the Elgin Chamber of Commerce. For over a century, the Elgin Chamber has helped local businesses grow, connecting entrepreneurs, advocating for progress, and inspiring the leaders of tomorrow. Whether you're a new business just starting out or an established company looking to expand, the Elgin Chamber is your partner for success. Join a powerful network of leaders making a difference in our community every day. Together, we're shaping the future of Elgin, one connection at a time. Elgin Area Chamber of Commerce, where business and community grow together. Call now, 847-741-5660, or go to info@elginchamber.com. Contact Carol Gieske.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by Progressive. This afternoon, mostly sunny with a high near 45. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 25. Looking ahead to tomorrow, sunny skies are expected with a high near 39. Tomorrow night, it will be partly cloudy with a low around 23. Thursday brings mostly cloudy skies with a high near 41. Currently, it's 42 and mainly clear. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. Big Top Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland. Football frenzy and hoops so high. Baseball swinging as seasons fly. Hockey blades cutting swift and true. Sports carousel spinning just for you. Big Top Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to hand.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. You want to be a part of the sporting conversation going forward, please feel free to call in at 847-931-1410. That is 847-931-1410. Or you could always check me out on the youtube.com at WRMN Radio. That's youtube.com at WRMN Radio. If you want to text in, feel free to do so at 505-926-1410, 505-926-1410. And as always, don't forget the WRMN Facebook page. Go there, tell us how we're doing, tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like. Hey, we're open for any sorts of criticism. Maybe. But, okay, with the Super Bowl being in the rear view and this helping of what I like to call a basketball smurf. And when I say basketball smurf, where do you think that I'm going with that? And if you thought or you think that I am going to the Chicago Unbelieva-BULLS, you'd be correct. Because, oh my great googly moogly. Oh, okay. Well, let's just get into this real quick. So yesterday, the Chicago Bulls got beat by the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn by the score of 123-115. Now, I am not totally ignorant on the fact that, they're still trying to figure things out after the massive trade deadline and after they were getting rid of everyone and all that fun stuff. And yeah, they're still trying to figure out how to play with one another. They are still trying to figure out what game plan it is that they're going to be running. And as I look at it, or as I look at the box scores from the Chicago Bulls, where Anthony Simmons was the leading scorer in last night's game with 23 points. Colin Sexton off the bench with 21. Matas Buzelis, back in the lineup. He had 18. But, yeah. But there's still the inherent... I look at the actual stats. So the Bulls shot 40 of 91, which is good for a 44% field goal percentage. Then they were 10 of 36 from three-point land, which is below their season average of about like 30-ish. But they shot in last night's game 27.8% from the three-point line, and they made 25 of 32 of free throws from the charity stripe with a 78.1% mix there. They're still being out-rebounded. Their distribution of the ball is, while indicating here, 20 assists last night. Okay, cool. But then you go down. You go down to the stats even further, and I'll put this up there on the YouTube so you can see what I'm talking about, because I'm getting this from, Google.com and the Chicago Bulls games. But if you look, the turnovers. Now, Brooklyn had the same amount of turnovers last night, but Brooklyn also won by 8 points. But the points off of turnovers were exactly the same. 22 for each side, for the Brooklyn Nets and the Chicago Bulls. But my goodness, and this has been a theme going back weeks and weeks, if not months, if not like to the very beginning of that, horrendous stretch after the Chicago Bulls went, 5-1, 6-1, something like that. I don't even remember at this point, just for the simple fact that, this merry-go-round roller coaster ride, Tank City, I'm not exactly sure what's going on, because even if the Chicago Bulls were to tank at this particular moment in the season, they decided to tank way, 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 way too late. And even with all of that, the best player for the Brooklyn Nets missing last night was Michael Porter Jr. He was out of last night's game. Now, I understand that, the likes of Josh Giddey, he's still battling a strained left hamstring. Trey Jones was out, also battling a strained left hamstring. Jalen Smith is out. He's got a calf injury. But, yeah. And I chalk it up to, one, can't you do something? Can't you figure something out? Because, you're all NBA players. And I get it. You're going into a new system that Billy Donovan is running. You're going from your team to this new team. And, oof. But even still, with the NBA All-Star game coming up, maybe they'll be able to get a little bit of practice in. Maybe they'll get going in the right direction. I'm not really sure, because even still with that, it is freaking horrendous. And there's really no way for me to sugarcoat it, even though, I'm talking about this and I'm trying my best to be positive, but what can you possibly be positive about? Chicago Bulls are 24-30. They've got a .444 win percentage. They're 16 games back. And right now they are currently, 2.5 games back of the play-in, which the Atlanta Hawks are currently sitting in. But you also need to get even with maybe the Charlotte Hornets, who are a game in front of them, to even get into the play-in. And at this point, it's just a whole lot of consternation when I want them to be so good. And I'm not even sure if Billy Donovan's going to be able to make chicken salad out of this chicken Smurf stuff that they've got there on the west side of Chicago at the United Center. It's painful, man. And if there's any other games that are on, and and admittedly so, I listen to the Chicago Bulls broadcast on the radio, and it's just funny to listen to Bill Wennington and Chuck Swirsky try to explain it. Well, what'd you see there on that play? Well, it was just a bad pass. Hey, there was an open red seat there. Maybe he thought it was his teammate. I mean, how in the hell do you not know what your teammate is, or where he is, or what he's wearing? And and I needed to see if my opinions kind of matched other sports pundits. And while I am not a sports pundit, I am a sports fan. And thankfully, spring training is right around the corner. The WBC is right around the corner, which you know what that means, right? Baseball will soon be all-consuming. Well, not all-consuming because, I mean, who doesn't love to rant about the Chicago Unbelievable? Oh, I don't really want to rant about the Chicago Unbelievables, but there needs to be something done with the Chicago Unbelievables. But I'll get into what some of the national NBA writers and analysts. Yeah, that I can read good. Say about the Chicago Unbelieva-BULLS and basically the dumpster fire and quote unquote that's the national NBA writers and analysts talking about the Chicago Bulls, calling them quote unquote a dumpster fire, also quote unquote aimless incompetence as well. So a little bit more about the Chicago Bulls on the other side of this short break. You are currently listening to Big Top Sports on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. I'll be back in a bit.
The new novel, titled DUI Jury Trial, is the true story of two lawyers who defend a truck driver who is charged with DUI. If he's convicted, this truck driver faces a lifetime disqualification of his commercial driver's license, which would prevent him from ever driving a truck again. This 3-year legal battle culminates in a courtroom showdown, which involves the testimony of a DUI expert witness. This book, DUI Jury Trial, is now available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com.
Are you looking for a way to be creative right now? Have you ever wanted to learn to watercolor paint? You can now do that from the comfort of your own home with Zoom watercolor classes. Get professional instruction from nationally showing artist Victoria Elizabeth. These classes are step-by-step, broken down with easy-to-understand instructions. They are affordable too, at $15 for a 2-hour class. Visit her website at victoriaelizabethart.com to find out more. That's victoriaelizabethart.com.
Businesses come in all shapes and sizes. Integrity doesn't. For more than a century, the Better Business Bureau has set the standards for how businesses should operate honestly and ethically. So when you're looking for a business you can trust, check to see who's BBB accredited and who isn't. Always choose the Better Business. Look for the BBB seal because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
When our nation calls, patriots answer. The U.S. Volunteers Joint Service Command stands ready, honoring our fallen heroes through military funeral honors and serving communities during natural disasters and emergencies. If you're 18 or older, you can serve close to home with free training and just one Saturday a month. Prior service with honorable discharges are welcome. View our website today at usvjsc.org. We are patriots. We are always ready. We are U.S. Volunteers, and we want you to join us.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who help people that have been injured or wronged. If you've been involved in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or injured at work, you have rights, and you may be entitled to money for your suffering. Don't accept an offer you get from an insurance company until you talk to a lawyer. And we represent some of the best personal injury lawyers you can find. Tough lawyers that will fight to win your case. And they're so good they stake their reputation on it by only getting paid if you win. So if you've been in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or hurt on the job, find out today for free what kind of compensation you may be entitled to. Call the legal helpline right now.
800-257-3148. 800-257-3148. 800-257-3148. That's 800-257-3148.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. Now, as I've said, the Chicago Bulls are currently sitting at 24-30, which is 6 games below 500. And they are currently on a 5-game losing streak. Well, that's kind of par for the course, really. But, okay, the Chicago Bulls are facing off against the Boston Celtics tomorrow night. Then they have the Toronto Raptors coming into town, so that's another 2. The Detroit Pistons on Saturday, that's 3. Most likely losing against the New York Knicks, that's 4. So that makes what, 9 games? 9-game losing streak? And really, you have absolutely no idea when the potential losing streak is going to end. And because I'm saying that, they'll probably come out and they'll probably kick the hell out of the Boston Celtics tomorrow. Just to kind of, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't need to be a sports analyst or whatever to figure out that, quote unquote, the Chicago Unbelieva-BULLS are aimless with their strategy in action. And this is basically a summation of what national NBA writers and analysts are talking about with the Chicago Bulls, quote unquote, aimless. Analysts have eviscerated the front office under AK Arturas Karnasjovis for failing to rebuild while not being good enough to contend. Critics have labeled the team, quote unquote, the perfect play-in team, end quote, that settle for mediocrity rather than taking necessary drastic steps to improve, such as trading key assets earlier. Oh, we'll get to that. Next, it's the, quote unquote, Chicago tax and mismanagement. This is from ESPN and other national outlets that have accused the organization of a Chicago tax in their rankings, citing a lack of trust in the front office's ability to maximize financial flexibility or draft talent. Oh, the team has been criticized for being one of the least actives in trades during key rebuilding years. Well, that's quite the contrary to this past season. But this is an overview of what everyone is saying. Then you're talking about the defense or the defensive and roster failures. The team has been blasted for failing to establish a defensive identity, with observers noting the roster lacked a true rim protector and defensive toughness. Then this is where I'm talking about as far as drafting talent or identifying talent, where the decision to build around players like DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, well, they both gone, was frequently described as musty, quote unquote, musty as being, well, stagnant, not very pleasant smelling to your nose. And then, well, when was the last time that the Chicago Unbelieva-BULLS were of any national relevance? The end of the Jordan era three-peats, the second three-peat? Was it the end of when Derrick Rose got his knee nuked? Injured, if you will? So, and what and who have been the young stars that the Chicago Unbelieva-BULLS have brought in? I mean, I've had the interview with Kendall Gill, who is the pre- and post-game host for the Chicago Bulls on CHSN. Had the conversation where it was like he was talking that Matas Buzelis would be the young up-and-coming star for the Chicago Bulls. Well, so far, not so good. Although he is growing, his game is growing, but my goodness, it's just, it's frustrating. And I'm not even really a basketball fan, but yet I'm a sports fan and kind of a sports junkie. And when I even hear it on the broadcast and the broadcasters talking, and then it's just mystifying at what is going on. And when AK talks about it, the executive VP, Arturas Gurnishovis, defends the moves as a necessary step to, quote, get out of the middle, end quote, where critics have labeled the franchise as a cautionary tale, quote unquote, for waiting too long to rebuild and settling for diminished returns. Yeah! Abso-freaking-lutely. Asset mismanagement. The writers from The Athletic and Yahoo Sports roasting the team for failing to secure a single first-round pick despite trading away established starters like Kobe White, Nikola Vucevic, and Ayo Dosunmu, and waiting until the 2026 deadline when these players had less contract leverage. Now, by less contract leverage, they're talking about, well, you should have moved him sooner. You should have gotten more of a return for him than what you did, because then the other team that you're trading him to would have had them a little bit more for their season because, well, they're trading him away. And yeah. And then there was the whole settling for all of the second round picks. Second round picks. Where, what? You couldn't have turned any of them into first round picks? No, because that's not how the Chicago Unbelieva-BULLS do things. And then you're also talking about all of the guards that they currently have now. Nothing against these guys. Maybe you could build around them. Maybe not. I don't know. But sure as hell not getting any. You're sure as hell not getting any sympathy or whatever over here, because do you even know how to evaluate talent? With all of the guards that the Chicago Bulls have now, Anthony Simmons, Jaden Ivey, Colin Sexton, and Rob Dillingham, to go along with Josh Giddey and Trey Jones. My goodness. Anyway, you are currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through.
And it is just so incredibly frustrating. And then you also have stars from around the league. And I'm talking to you all on YouTube land, YouTube at WRMN Radio right now, because it is one thing to have it where you are back in the 90s and the Jordan era Bulls, where you wanted to come to Chicago. And yeah, I understand Chicago, cold city and everything, but when you had Garpax for so long, now you have this dumpster fire in the front office with AK and Eversley, you've got players from around the league that are also, quote unquote, genuinely stunned and baffled by the moves that the Chicago Bulls are doing. And that was coming from Draymond Green. Draymond Green stated on his podcast that he was genuinely stunned and baffled by the moves, noting that the Bulls broke up key pieces for expiring contracts and second rounders while ignoring roster fit. And that goes to what I was saying 2 minutes or so ago, where you have, 10 guards on your team? Oh, great googly moogly. What in the hell are we doing here? And then you're also talking about the organization where you go ahead and the medical mishandling of Kobe White, where you initially got 4 second-round picks, but you had to give one back because, well, Kobe White was injured. Just a complete and total dumpster fire. And it's not that I want to be talking about the Chicago Unbelieva-BULLS the way that I am. It's just, how can you not? Because believe me, it's a lot more exciting when the team is winning. It's a lot better for ratings when the team is winning. It's a lot better for Chicago Bulls fans' mental health when the team is winning. Okay, off of my soapbox. I will return in a few minutes.
Brought to you by Rain-X. Illinois lawmakers are pushing legislation to address widespread underfunding in public schools statewide. Supporters say nearly 3.3 million students attend underfunded districts, with mandated services falling about $3.3 billion short. A proposal in Springfield would require some Illinois drivers to install speed-limiting technology to curb high-speed crashes. Courts could order the devices for reckless driving cases and would require them for drivers convicted of going more than 100 miles an hour. Governor J.B. Pritzker is backing State Representative Margaret Croak in the Democratic primary for comptroller. Capital News Illinois reports Pritzker announced the endorsement Monday, which could give Croak a financial boost in the 4-person race. I'm Ryan Gatenby with your news flash.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The Colonel despised the word empty. Empty plates, empty tables, empty stomachs. That's why he made the KFC $5 bowls, like the famous bowl. Creamy mashed potatoes, crispy chicken, corn, gravy, and cheese. Because the only empty the Colonel liked was when you reached the bottom of that bowl. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. 5 KFC bowls for just $5 each.
Prices and participation may vary. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Progressive knows life takes you in many directions.
Bear right at exit 32, then begin to wonder why you never bought a fish tank. In 1.3 miles, you'll realize you've been mispronouncing epitome your whole life. At the roundabout, you will remember you said something at dinner you wish you hadn't, and will think about it for decades. You have arrived at your destination, but it turns out there really is no destination, and life just keeps going.
Wherever life takes you, protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by Progressive. This afternoon, mostly sunny with a high near 45. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 25. Looking ahead to tomorrow, sunny skies are expected with a high near 39. Tomorrow night, it will be partly cloudy with a low around 23. Thursday brings mostly cloudy skies with a high near 41. Currently, it's 42 and mainly clear. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. B-A-B-B.
In the middle of the night, everything will be all right if you listen to Coast right here on WRMN, 7 days a week from midnight to 5 a.m. Each night on Coast to Coast, listeners are captivated by George Noory with discussions on news and current events, conspiracy theories, UFOs, life after death, and all things curious and unexplained. Coast to Coast, every night, midnight to 5 a.m. right here on WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
This year, America's First Responders Fest 2025 was a huge success, and we couldn't have done it without the Village of Burlington and Village President Mary Kay Welsen. Your support helped bring the Fox River Valley together in the Village of Hampshire to celebrate the heroes who keep us safe every day. Thank you, Village of Burlington, for standing behind America's First Responders Fest 2025 and for standing with those who serve.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. From the Chicagoland to lands afar. With Derrick Geyer, your sports czar. The game's the place from field to rink. Hot debates, fast takes, no time to blink. The Windy City roar, the fans ignite. Your circus of sports under radio light. Big Time Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. And if you want to be a part of the sports conversation, please feel free to call in at 847-931-1410, 847-931-1410. Or you could always view my happy mug on youtube.com at WRMN Radio. That's youtube.com at WRMN Radio. You could also text in at 505-926-1410. That's 505-926-1410. And as always, since this is Tuesday, at the bottom of the 5 o'clock hour, Marcus Mack from The Truth About Chicago Sports will be joining me, and I have a feeling that we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl, maybe the commercials, I don't know, wherever the sporting conversation takes us with Marcus Mack at the 5:34 hour here on Big Top Sports. Wanted to check in real quick. Oh, yeah, and don't forget to tune into the WRMN Morning Show with Susie C. and Elliot the L Train Serrano tomorrow morning and every Monday through Friday. Well, at least for the rest of this week. Bye, Elliot. I'm so sorry that you're leaving. But, hey, you saw an opportunity. You took it. And it's been really fun going on the WRMN Morning Show with you guys and having a lot of fun. But, yeah, every morning, well, for the rest of this week anyway, it is Susie C. and Elliot, the L Train Serrano, from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. And I wish you nothing but the best and prosperity and a huge heaping helping of a paycheck and lots of wealth to you. But hell, you are more than welcome to come on my show and derail it any time that you want. Let's see. So the 2026 Olympics are currently going on right now. And as far as the medal count goes, Norway is leading the way with 12, followed by Germany with 6, Sweden with 6, Switzerland with 5, and the United States with 7. Well, hey, that doesn't make any sense, right? Well, the United States has only got 2 gold medals, 3 silver, and 2 bronze, while the other countries have, well, Switzerland has 3 golds, 1 silver, 1 bronze. Sweden has 3 golds, 2 silver, 1 bronze. Germany has 3 golds, 2 silver, 1 bronze. And Norway is leading the way with 6 gold medals, 2 silver, and 4 bronze, giving them a total of 12. So, obviously, gold rules. Second place silver. Sure, why not? But, yeah. And unfortunately today, if you haven't, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, if you were paying attention to the mixed doubles curling, well, unfortunately, Sweden beat the United States. So Sweden took the gold in that one. And let's see what the full schedule is right here. Austria, United States came in bronze in the alpine skiing. The women's team combined downhill. The United States took gold. The biathlon, we did not place. Cross-country skiing for the men's sprint final. Mr. Ogden came in with the silver. Sweden basically swept the cross-country skiing for the women's sprint. Curling, I already said that Sweden beat the United States by a score of 6-5. I did not put the 6-5 on there, but yeah. And then men's singles qualifier currently, the United States is beating out Japan and France in the top couple of spots. So, but my favorite time of the year is right around the corner. What is that, you may ask? And it is baseball. Baseball! Which means I'm going to get my fix in a couple of weeks, or probably a week or so, of all the different baseball movies out here. Bull Durham. Love Bull Durham. The Rose goes in front meet. Oh, let's see. I'm trying to think of the one. Oh, my great googly moogly. Every single time I try and... Oh, Wild Thing. No. Cleveland Rocks. No, not Cleveland Rocks. Cleveland sucks. Charlie Sheen baseball movie. I can't believe I need to look it up. Major League. Holy hell. I'm already fried and it's only Tuesday. Oh, that's all right. I'm kind of like a kid in a candy shop. Not going to lie. Got some packing to do. Which means I will be on vacation. I've got some great people lined up to fill in for Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM. Andrew Scheid will be taking a couple of shows, actually two tree. No, not 6-7, but 2 tree shows. Bob Mariner is going to be sitting in. along with Susie C. from the WRMN Morning Show. She is very excited about that. She wants to talk Olympics. So, and not just the tight sporting pants that the athletes wear on a regular basis. Oh, football, yeah, their butts look really cute. That's the stuff that you get typically speaking. But then, I've also got David Dykstra and Andrew Valentine coming in. Valentine, sorry, Andrew, keep on doing that. Coming in for a couple of shows, 2 next week, 1 this week as well. So, yeah, your boy's going someplace warmer. Going to be a nice little reset, and couldn't have planned it any better right after the football season, right after the Super Bowl, right in between when pitchers and catchers are supposed to be starting. And if I'm not mistaken, let me check real quick. You know what? I'll take a quick break, and I will come back on the other side. You are currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN, 1410 AM with yours truly.
Are you suffering with anxiety, depression, PTSD, an eating disorder, or even a substance abuse problem? If it's causing problems at work or with your family, get help now at Insight Mental Health and Wellness. We can help and treat all types of depression and mental issues. We'll help you use your insurance to get away from it all to a beautiful, sunny, and tranquil vacation-like environment so you can recharge yourself. And with a Family Medical Leave Act, you could take the time off you need from work. Plus, with the Affordable Care Act, your treatment could be 100% covered. If you're suffering from any kind of anxiety, depression, PTSD, eating disorder, or even a substance abuse problem, use your insurance and get away from it all. Come to sunny California. Call Insight Mental Health and Wellness now. 800-419-0287. 800-419-0287. 800-419-0287. That's 800-419-0287.
Looking to set sail on your dream vacation? Cruises International has you covered. Specializing in land and sea getaways, they're here to make your vacation unforgettable. Located at 1721 Moon Lake Boulevard in Hoffman Estates, they offer personalized service with a global network of specialists to ensure your trip is tailor-made just for you. Call today at 800-255-7447 to speak with a cruise and vacation expert. And don't miss Travel Tuesdays on WRMN AM 1410 every first Tuesday of the month from 11 to 12 p.m. on Out to Lunch. That's Cruises International. Your vacation, your way.
There's danger out there. It lurks on highways and quiet neighborhood streets. It's more likely to kill you than a shark and more terrifying than the biggest snake. Distracted driving claims lives every day. Every notification, swipe, social post, video, or selfie while driving risks your life. So while you might think public speaking or the zombie apocalypse is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. And, yep, baseball. Baseball is right around the corner. And right now with, well, spring training. First spring training game that you will be able to hear. It is going to be on these very airwaves when the Chicago White Sox take on the much hated Chicago Cubs. Oh, wait. Hold on a second. Yep, it's going to be the Chicago White Sox taking on the Chicago Cubs on these airwaves, WRMN 1410 AM. Probably with a pregame show going on at about 1:30-ish next week, Friday, February 20th. So, so good. So good. So good. So good. Bum, bum, bum. Good times never. Oh, yeah. Any hoodie. And then, let's see. Got that. So February 20th. And then not maybe, but a few days later, a couple weeks later, it is going to be the exhibition slate of games where you are going to have teams like Colombia taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Netherlands, Panama, Canada, Israel, Brazil, Cuba, Italia, Great Britain, Mexico. You get it. You get what I'm saying. But currently speaking, the rankings are out. The rankings are out at the starting line. Engines pumping, and yeah. trying to do a riff on that song, but whatever. The rankings are out. All 20 teams are currently ranked as far as who is going to be taking over or is slated to potentially be the number 1, number 2, number 3 seeds, or who is potentially going to win the World Baseball Classic title. I mean, hell, you had Japan last time winning it in 2023. And I got to be honest, it was a lot of fun. And the matchup at the very end of the game where you had at the time, hey, Brendan, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Where you had Shohei Ohtani striking out his former teammate, Mike Trout, to claim Japanese third World Baseball Classic title. And right now, it's only a few weeks away. But, of course, there are the rankings. And the rankings are courtesy of Rowan Kavner from FoxSports.com. And with essential all-star teams playing in it. I'll go from the bottom to the top, where you have Brazil, the Czech Republic coming in at 19. You have Nicaragua at 18. Chinese Taipei, 17. Great Britain, I don't know why I rolled my R on Great Britain, but they come in at 16. Australia at 15. A little high, I thought, but whatever. Colombia at 14. Good old Jose Quintana pitching for Colombia. Also, they got Julio Teheran, Nabel Crismet, and Luis Patino. Panama coming in at number 13. Israel at 12. Harrison Bader. Okay. Patrolling center field for Israel. The Netherlands. Jurickson Profar. Really? I had absolutely no idea that he was from the Netherlands. And apparently they're going to be managed by Hall of Famer Andrew Jones. And, yeah. So let's see. Number 10, Cuba, Yoan Moncada, Yarel Rodriguez, Radiel Martinez. That'll be interesting. Number 9 is coming in at or for Korea, Jung-Ho Lee, Hee-Sung Kim, Hyunjin Ryu. Well, unfortunately, Tommy Edman will not be participating in it for Team Korea. Then you have Italia, Vinny Pasquantino, first base. Aaron Nola is pitching for him. And catcher, White Sox catcher, Kyle Teal. I'm actually excited about that for Kyle Teal and the Chicago White Sox, because these are going to be actual games of consequence in the World Baseball Classic. Not necessarily a consequence for them, but, you know how it is. You actually get regular competition here against the best in the world. No, not CM Punk. Number 7 is Team Canada. Just recently signed Josh Naylor playing first base, Tyler O'Neill in the outfield. Former Cubs farmhand Owen Casey also out in the outfield. Oh, no Freddie Freeman? Oh, that's unfortunate. Then you have number 6, Puerto Rico. Edwin Diaz, Seth Lugo, apparently Nolan Arenado. I wouldn't have figured that one out, but I don't necessarily know all the nationalities and all that fun stuff for all the players. And this is kind of what I get for, doing this on the fly pre-production meeting in my head where all of the squirrels reside. Number 5 is coming in at Mexico. Mexico, number 5. You've got Randy Arozarena, left field. Duran, patrolling center. And Andres Munoz, the pitcher. They're definitely looking to do damage in the in their bracket as well. And it's nice to see that Javier Assad for the Chicago Cubs is also on Mexico. Gear him up because, really love to see him in action and actually working on stuff. Number 4, it is Venezuela. You got Ronald Acuna Jr., right field, Jackson Churio, center field, Salvador Perez. Don't throw him a first pitch fastball. White Sox, Salvador Perez. Jose Altuve and Miguel Rojas are both not playing because, unfortunately, they were unable to get insured for the tournament. And then, so a little bit about that. Number 3, I'm a little shocked by this one. Number 3, the land of the rising sun, Japan. I mean, they were the ones that took hold and won the 2023 World Baseball Classic last time. So I'm a little shocked that they come in at number 2, especially when you have basically a Japanese all-star team with the best in the world. Again, not CM Punk, but Shohei Ohtani. But apparently he's not going to be pitching. He's only going to be DHing. Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And, Muni. So Chicago White Sox fans, you'll also be able to see Muni, Muntakaka, Makurami. I butchered that name, and I'm so sorry. And then you also have, coming in at number 2, the Dominican Republic. Juan Soto, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Fernando Tatis Jr., and coming in at number 1. I mean, this is a stacked all-star team if there was ever a stacked all-star team. Aaron Judge, Derrick Geyer, Paul Skeens, Bam Bam, Kyle Schwarber. I mean, and the list goes on and on. Cal Raleigh, Big Dumper. Hey, coming up after this break, it's going to be one Marcus Mack. You're listening to The Truth About Chicago Sports here in WRMN 1410.
With your news flash, I'm Ryan Gatenby. Brought to you by Rain-X. Illinois lawmakers are pushing legislation to address widespread underfunding in public schools statewide. Supporters say nearly 3.3 million students attend underfunded districts, with mandated services falling about $3.3 billion short. A proposal in Springfield would require some Illinois drivers to install speed-limiting technology to curb...
Hey, Brendan. Hello, Susie C. Yes, you are still hearing my voice on the youtube.com at WRMN. Who's your favorite team, Brendan? You know, I'm trying to do this a little bit more throughout the course of my show. I'm going to be talking with Marcus Mack on the other side of this bottom of the hour commercial break. So I have absolutely no idea where that conversation is going to go. And I do believe that Mr. Marcus Mack is currently on the phone line, but I would much rather be talking to you guys out there in youtube.com at WRMN Radio Land. No, I'm actually talking to you guys on the Tube of Views. So who's your favorite team, Brendan? What do you like about baseball? Are you excited about baseball coming back? Chicago Cubs, that is a very solid choice. What was your favorite part about the Chicago Cubs out there? Man, I cannot wait. I can't wait to get back. Well, actually, first off, I can't wait to go on vacation. I'm kind of like a kid waiting for the last day of school right now to get going. And then, man, I get back in on it. It is going to be awesome because I am looking to do big things. We are looking to do big things here at WRMN 1410 AM. Can't necessarily go into great detail right now about it, but, come on, give me some feedback, Brendan. This is your chance. I'm actually talking to you. Or, hey, Susie C., what is your favorite Olympic sport right now? Is it the curling? But, yeah. Nice time of year to take a break. Nice time of year.
From old furniture to entire
and
house, we do the heavy lifting.
I cannot wait, but my goodness, what an absolute all-star team. Let's see, 2026. The USA team has Cy Young Award winners Derrick Geyer and Paul Skeens. All-stars Logan Webb and Joe Ryan.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley.
Mark DeRosa is managing the team. You have AL MVP Aaron Judge, AL and NL MVP runner-up Cal Raleigh and Kyle Schwarber. I mean, geez, there's absolutely no holes in this particular lineup whatsoever. And I'm really surprised that the Dominican Republic, although I really shouldn't be, because you got players on the team like Juan Soto, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Fernando Tatis, and they won the tournament way back in 2013. But you also have the aforementioned Juan Soto, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Fernando Tatis, Julio Rodriguez, Ketel Marte, Jeremy Pena, Manny Machado. Oh my good graciousness, this is why they are also up there. Junior Caminero, Geraldo Perdomo, and yeah, just back in a minute.
Step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. Big Top Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports fly. Hockey blades cutting swift and true. Sports carousel spinning just for you. Big time sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly. Except if you've been watching and paying attention on the Tube of Views, youtube.com at WRMN Radio, you would have actually realized that I did not go anywhere. And then it's kind of surprised me when my intro music kicked on. I'm not going to lie because, well, I'm kind of horrible with doing the clock the last couple of days. But, yeah, we're talking a little bit more about the WBC Classic that will be going on, spring training going on. But also right now, which will be going on, is hopefully the one, the only, Marcus Mack from The Truth About Chicago Sports. Joining me on WRMN 1410 Big Top Sports. Hello, Marcus. No, Marcus? Is this not Marcus?
Oh, sorry about that.
Hey, Marcus!
What's happening there, my friend? Awesome intro. Thank you very much. I feel honored. How are you doing, sir?
Well, as I was telling the listening audience, I'm kind of like a kid in a candy shop right now, or a kid like last day of school, because I will be going on vacation shortly. Got some people filling in for myself. Yes. You are one of those people as well, filling in on Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410. And man, I've it's kind of like bittersweet because this is going to be a family vacation for myself. But the reason why I am going on this vacation was because my dad passed away like a year and a half or so ago. So here I am going on the family trip with cousins and everything. So very much looking forward to that. But this is not the reason why you are calling in. The reason why you are calling in is because you want to talk some sports.
Let's talk some sports indeed, brother.
What would you like to talk about? Would you want to talk about that snooze fest that was the Super Bowl? It was okay. I mean, if you like the defensive struggle of it, here, go ahead.
Let's just go through that real quick. Because I always love just chopping it up with you about a lot of wide categories in sports. But, that was obviously one of the highlights to start off the week on Sunday. And it was very boring for three quarters. It was a typical what we thought it was going to be, a team that had a superior defense over another young team that had, overachieved and honestly had been the recipient of a lot of misfortunes for other teams.
Yeah.
And then they ran into a team that could overcome any misfortunes. Because remember, Jackson Smith and Jigba, suffered probably more than likely a concussion, and they kept him out there because it was a Super Bowl. But if you notice, the ball didn't come his way anymore, and the offense had changed drastically at that point. So, I think if Jackson Smith and Jigba is probably doesn't get dinged up, I mean, honestly, that game probably would have been well out of hand before it got to the fourth quarter. So that was the misfortune, that the Patriots had been the recipient of all season. But this team was strong enough to overcome that very easily. And we saw, and then in the fourth quarter, a little bit of fireworks. But the finish was exactly what pretty much every pundit, including myself, picked Seattle, so there was no surprises there. And, we'd have wanted – you want more excitement, of course, but at the same time, the outcome was what I thought it was going to be. So therefore, I was not disappointed. The fact that it was kind of a snooze fest for 3 quarters.
Yeah, and what do you make of the Seattle Seahawks running back Kenneth Walker III becoming the first running back to win the MVP award in 28 years? Is it
well? It's what is it? What?
Well, kind of along the lines of like, well, we kind of got to give it to someone.
I mean, you want, the defense, you couldn't focus on one person because I think the defense was taking their turn. It was almost like they were playing hopscotch with who wants to have a turn at taking a hit on this team. And so it just kind of felt like, oh, it's your turn. No, oh, it's your turn. Oh, it's your turn. And therefore, you couldn't hone in on one person on defense because everyone was having their way. And on offense, Kenneth Walker III made the most plays. He made the biggest plays to help put Seattle in a position to where they could get those field goals. And you had no choice but to give it to him at that point because, let's be honest, Sam Darnold played about average. He played a game-managing role. He didn't turn the ball over. He had 1 touchdown, not a lot of yards, but it was very lackluster in terms of like, okay, this, it's not stellar quarterback play. It was adequate quarterback play. And I think that from the running back position, we saw stellar running back play. So therefore, it went to the person that was giving, stellar play out on the field. And that's not to take away from Sam Darnold. I mean, his redemption story is beautiful. It is beautiful. It is beautiful. I'm glad that he can host up a Super Bowl trophy after, what he went through with the Jets. The whole I'm seeing ghost thing that was attached to him, Scooby-Doo moniker that he's had to wear for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And, to be the first quarterback out of that 2018 class, which I remember when that class came out, they were drafting it. It was highly touted. 4 quarterbacks, or was it 5 that came out in that first round? So Baker, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Lamar. That's 4. Am I missing one more?
I am looking it up as you are speaking.
I feared it like a quarterback like Josh Rosen is in that group, but I don't think so. I don't think he was in that
it's
draft.
Baker Mayfield. He went number 1. Sam Darnold, number 3. Josh Allen, number 7. Josh Rosen, number 10. Lamar Jackson, 32.
So I was correct.
So
Rosen was in that. And so out of all those quarterbacks, only one of them is not in the league. All the rest are in the league, and all the rest are producing at a high level. And he's the first one to get a Super Bowl out of that group.
Yeah, and
quite impressive.
Yeah, since you mentioned that, yeah, and there was obviously that knock that you brought up a little bit earlier. By the way, this is currently Big Top Sports on WRMN 1410 with my guest Marcus Mack from The Truth About Chicago Sports. You obviously brought up Sam Darnold seeing ghosts with the Jets, and let's be honest. That is probably, one of the 2 or 3 dumpster fires of an organization in the NFL right now. And I remember when he first came out and said that, I'm seeing ghosts and all of the pundits, everyone basically is like, is this who you really want to, lead your team? And now, I mean, the Minnesota Vikings, they're obviously kicking themselves in the ass for letting go of.
I keep hearing that.
Well, wouldn't you think? Obviously, you're not thinking the same thing.
The rookie. No, I think that it's easy to say that about Minnesota without looking at the financial part of it before the season started. Yeah, now you could look back on it and go, man, you got to be kicking yourselves because you should have kept Sam Darnold. But they had to make a choice between going with the rookie contract, which they could pivot to 5 years, or having to pay Sam Darnold what I think he made like $30-something plus $million. Their thought was that they could use that 30-something plus million on other players to make the team stronger. You know what? If J.J. McCarthy was healthy, maybe if he was ready, yeah, it probably worked. But when you take these gambles on these rookie contracts as opposed to, sticking with that's exactly how Sam Darnold got ran out of New York. If you go back, they had to make a choice. Were they going to re-sign Sam Darnold, or they had a chance to reset the rookie contract, and they chose to do that when they drafted Zach Wilson. That's what led for Sam Darnold. People say, "Oh, why didn't they give Sam Darnold enough time?" Because they didn't want to have to commit the money to him, and without knowing if he, could be that starting quarterback. And now you had the Vikings in the same situation where he had one good season under his resume. That's all with them. It wasn't like he had it wasn't like he had this big resume out there. He had one good season under them, and now they had to make a choice with the quarterback that they had drafted. Remember, Sam Darnold was brought in as hey, you're just here to hold the fort down until this young kid gets ready. And instead, he excels. It all comes together. It pops. You got to make a decision to pay him a big contract over the kid that you got on a rookie contract.
And that's kind of funny when you say a big contract, because I'm looking at it right now. He signed a 3-year, $100.5 million contract. I don't know what the guarantees and everything were, and so
it's not breaking the bank.
No, it's not breaking the bank, because $33.5 million in a season is nothing for a quarterback. That's just a decent quarterback in this day and age of the NFL.
But they didn't want to pay it.
Oh,
they
absolutely.
Didn't want to pay it when they had a rookie quarterback on a rookie deal, and that's what and that's all they were staring at. It's exactly why Justin Fields was gone over Caleb. The Bears had a chance to reset that rookie clock scale of having to pay a quarterback top money, and on top of it, they had the true belief that Caleb was a better talent. They were correct on that, and they reset the rookie clock. So now the Bears have now, Caleb is 2 years in now. The Bears still have 3 years if they really want to stretch it up that far before they have to pay Caleb franchise quarterback money. It's a really hard thing that's on the franchises in a lot of ways, but it's something they need to definitely try to figure out and get kind of evened out, I guess.
Yeah.
If it's making franchises have to make these decisions so quickly, because it's clear in Sam Darnold's case, it's clear in a lot of quarterbacks, from Jordan Love to Josh Allen to Baker Mayfield to Bryce. What's the kid in the Panthers? Bryce Young. To Bryce Young. These quarterbacks need time. They need time. The NFL is a very, very complex, very complicated game. Only the truly gifted, special quarterbacks get it right away, like a Patrick Mahomes, like what we're starting to see possibly from Caleb Williams, as well as what we've seen from Drake May and a couple other quarterbacks from that look like it might be a very special rookie class. It doesn't pop for a lot of quarterbacks from year 3. And that's what organizations are expecting to see, to have to, pay that long-term deal.
Sure.
By year 3, they're expecting to see that. And the Bills, Josh Allen, it happened. They got lucky because Josh was from his rookie year, or what he was able to do from his rookie year to his second year to his third year. It doesn't happen like that for most quarterbacks. Most quarterbacks that struggle like that in their rookie year, it seems to be it's more along the Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold vein, where that it's going to take about 4 to 5 years before you even start to see it. At that point, now you're on the hook for having to pay big dough, and you could end up with a Tua Tagovailoa situation where they paid big dough for Tua. And now they're in a cap hell. Tua's struggling, and
so
there's there's flip sides to this. There's best case scenario. Oh yeah, Sam Darnold stays on Minnesota and they run it back. They got a chance to make it to the Super Bowl. Or Sam Darnold struggles mightily. They're stuck on the hook for having signed him on this contract with the rookie sitting on the bench that now they're regretting saying maybe we should have started him. So there's always two sides.
Yeah, absolutely. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. You're not really sure. And I hope, along the lines of Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, because I mean these two dudes have been rejuvenated with with the likes of the Seattle Seahawks. Obviously, Sam Darnold having one hell of a year, signing that massive contract. Well, massive by you and I standards.
Oh yeah.
Without a doubt. Not so massive as far as NFL standards go, but I mean, having a hell of a year, signing that contract, winning the Super Bowl, getting engaged to his gorgeous wife. So, or his soon-to-be wife. So everything up is coming up Darnold. I mean, as far as that goes. But yeah, and you also brought up Justin Fields earlier. And I just hope beyond all hope, that maybe after another team or something finally clicks for Justin Fields, because
I don't think his story's done.
I think because obviously he was done dirty here in Chicago by the ineptitude of the Chicago Bears and their coaching staff, and the ineptitude in, now what was, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and sure as hell done dirty with the New York Jets. But holy hell.
What class was that? That was 2021?
Oh, with Justin Fields?
I believe that was 2021's draft class, because that would put Justin now has been in the league for 4 years, going on his fifth year now. In that draft
2021.
Class, in that draft class, Trevor Lawrence as well, Zach Wilson,
Trey Lance, Mac Jones.
Trey Lance, Mac Jones. You're just starting to see now where you saw Mac Jones have very productive backup role for San Francisco. You saw now Trevor Lawrence starting to pop with Liam Cohen. Everybody's wrote Justin Fields out because he went to a dumpster fire for the Jets. And that's and it's like be careful, because what Sam Darnold has shown us is that as soon as that guy's a bust, wait a minute, look at the tape, go back and look at his film, go back and look at him in college, go back and look at this guy when he had moments with the Bears. Before you start saying that this dude is a complete bust, you better be careful, because Sam Darnold has taught us that it takes time. Sam Darnold was a part of the 2018 class. Him, Baker Mayfield, they're starting to round into their own now, 7 years now later in the league. Justin Fields and that class, Trevor Lawrence, they're all about to hit their 5th year. If there's any type of decent coaching, anything around Justin Fields, and like you say, from all the years of him being done dirty, don't be surprised if all of a sudden you see this guy making plays and being a threat and being productive, and it being a whole different quarterback than what we've seen from the last 3 teams that he's been on.
Yeah, absolutely. And you are currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM. Guest joining me right now, it is none other than Marcus Mack from The Truth About Chicago Sports. Well, Marcus, now that the football season is, essentially over. I mean, it's never really over. I mean, you got never. I mean, they're going to make hay about the new upcoming schedule and everything. Actually, let me ask you this question. I know that with the hold on a second. The millions and millions of the Super Bowl watchers that partook in Super Bowl 60. Where, with the upcoming schedule and with all of the international games, am I I truly think that they are absolutely nuts by having a game in Melbourne, Australia. Am I nuts?
Yeah. No, you're not nuts. So here's my thing that I push back on to the NFL. You say you want to grow the game, you want to grow the game globally, but yet you still got so much space within the United States that the game needs to grow. I think with all the money that these owners make and all the money that they pocket for themselves and the big checks that get wrote to them for their TV the TV contract has been signed with the NFL every year. How about you make every team that's in a cold weather city build a retractable dome stadium so that if they still want to have the elements and the feel for the playoffs, that's great. But once it's time for the Super Bowl, it's closed off, protected environment, and every town, every franchise gets to host a Super Bowl. That's how you build your market even more. You haven't built your market enough in your own continent, and yet you're trying to go globally. And I just think that is the part there where it's like, you know what, it could possibly work, and I hope it does for the NFL. But at the same time, I also look at it that you still got so many areas in the United States that deserve an NFL franchise. Or if you're not going to give them an NFL franchise, why don't you bring an NFL game there? What's wrong with bringing an NFL game to Arkansas? What's wrong with bringing an NFL game to Oklahoma? What's wrong with bringing an NFL game to Montana, Hawaii, places, Alaska, places that don't have an NFL franchise but are citizens of the United States? I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, it doesn't.
What about Puerto Rico? I'm just saying before we start going to Melbourne, Australia.
Well, I could definitely see Puerto Rico, considering the fact that they are a U.S. property, but you would never know it by the government. But that's a whole nother show, and I digress on that, and I wish I didn't even utter that sentence. But I mean, because you mentioned like Oklahoma, Nebraska, et cetera, Arkansas. I just don't think it moves the needle. Well, excuse me.
Move the needle for them to be in Melbourne, Australia. That.
Well, I mean, you're talking about like a full total different country. Now, if I could, this is where I get my harebrainy idea from. Now, if they are going to go international, I could see it being where the Super Bowl is suddenly being played amongst the teams like, I don't know, the winner of the Mexican League or division, or from North America, taking on the likes of, whether it be like, Sydney, Australia, or one of New Zealand or whatever. But that's in another 30 or 40 years, because you definitely need to raise the profile in those countries first, where you create the interest of having more than a handful of teams.
Yep.
But hey, what you got going on? You got about you got less than a minute.
Hey, you know what? As always, Prime Covered Sports Network every Monday. I'm Tilted Sports with Mac and Kyle at 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then on Saturday, Truth About Chicago Sports, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Always come and check it out. And, of course, shout out to all the shows that are joining us on the Sports Media Network here on WRMN. And Derrick Geyer, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you for letting me join.
I appreciate you hopping on, Marcus. Check his show out, Truth About Chicago Sports, 9 to 10. I'm sorry. Yep, 9 to 10. And then thank you for tuning in to Big Top Sports with yours truly, Derrick Geyer, on WRMN 1410. Have a great day.
For nearly 50 years, the DuPage Senior Citizens Council and Kane Senior Council
Thanks, Marcus.
have been dedicated to serving seniors in DuPage and Kane counties. Established in 1975, the DuPage Senior Citizens Council is a volunteer-driven 501c3 non-for-profit organization committed to helping older adults live with dignity. From providing nutritious meals to offering support services, the Kane Senior Council is there every step of the way, with programs designed to enhance independence and quality.
Oh, alrighty.
Make a difference in the lives.
Yes, I seen your comments there, Mr. Ken, on the Tube of Views, youtube.com at WRMN 1410. radio. Talked about that yesterday as far as the ratings for the Super Bowl. Also,
caring for seniors
yeah, but to kind of put a nail in that sports thought there, Marcus brought up a couple of good points as far as, well, why don't you take care of the teams that are, or more or less the states in the United States, and have good teams first before going out into the international market. And with that being said, it's just a matter of, well, in my humblest opinions, is there a market in Canada for it? They already have the CFL, the Canadian Football League, north of the border, north of the United States. They don't necessarily have a football team in Mexico, south of the United States. They do have football there, which they call soccer. So, and then also Marcus brought up Puerto Rico, maybe Cuba. I'm bringing up Cuba. But is there going to be enough of good quality football in that regards? Because anytime that there's an expansion team, I mean, great googly moogly, those football teams by and large suck. I mean, remember when the Jacksonville Jaguars came into the league, the Carolina Panthers? There's that. They just sucked. And it took them forever, it seemed like, before they were an actual good, decent product. However, the good aspect of it with the NFL is the fact that they are able to get a decent amount of parity for the league. Now, if there was ever a team going to be going to the United Kingdom, maybe they contract the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, they play over there in London quite a bit. They probably have the most games of any NFL team being played over there in London or the UK. Yeah, I do like Australian rules football, or as it were, rugby. Different rules, no pads, brutal, brutal game. Absolutely brutal, brutal game. But will it work? I don't know. And I'm not tasked with figuring that stuff out. But this has been a little Big Top Sports Extra here on WRMN.com. No. Let me get it right before I head off into the sunset. This has been a little Big Top Sports Extra here on YouTube.com at WRMN Radio. Yes! My goofy ass nailing it the second time. This stupid Dumas. STOOPID. Have a great week, everyone. Later.